What the hell? Shit. There you go. Look at that. Mm. Amazing, huh? Did anyone ever doubt me? I don't know if people doubted me or not. I guess some people did because there was a lot of selling. What do you think? Dan, I made you some money. You owe me a drink. I bought some at the same level, 52 and 56, and then I told my brother just make sure you buy the daily open as well. And so I was buying, he was buying, my friends were buying, everyone was buying. What's amazing about TRVL is it's really fascinating for me, and I'm keeping an eye on Bitcoin as well, so I'm not really paying attention to the, oh, maybe I can just pop it out. Let me try and pop it out. And the thing is, I need to go to the loo, otherwise I think I should go to the loo before I start talking about travel. Lambo, you're not going to buy me a Lambo. Buy yourself a Lambo. I'm happy with a drink. If when travel gets high to $5, we can all buy each other a drink. What's how do I pop this chat out? Oh, there it is. Pop it out. So if I pop that chat out, then I can still keep an eye on my Exo charts and I can still look at the chat. Perfect. That's just what I wanted. Okay. All right. So travel, huh? TRVL to the moon. I mean, it was everyone was a little bit nervous for a little bit, right? We were all a little bit nervous for a little bit, just a little bit. I think everyone's a little bit panicky and they were a bit worried. I was a little bit worried as well, you know. I wasn't happy that the price came back all the way down on the way it did. I can't pretend that I was content. I didn't want to see such a crazy correction. But I did do a full analysis on TRVL, and I think anyone who was paying attention, I think I made a really good case as to why this area was a good place to buy. I think I did a good job improving that this was a really good area to buy TRVL. When TRVL was coming down, I did think it would come down all the way down to 5.5 cents, and actually it got all the way down as low as on MEX, as low as 5 cents. Yeah. Now, what's really interesting, and I actually posted this on Twitter yesterday, and look, anyone who took the trade is in profit right now. Yeah. So I'm not like here, you know, I'm not like, I am posting it if people want to take the trades. There it is. This is it. Daily time frame, perfect reaction. Look, there it is. There's the trade plan. It's not a great as entry as coming at 5 cents, but I'm going to explain this trade plan so people understand the logic behind this trade plan. And fundamentally, the logic is about invalidations. Yeah, invalidation is what allows you to create a trade plan, knowing when you're wrong. Okay, and when you've created all of the technical analysis, which we have, and what's interesting about the technical analysis is I have the pivot on the weekly time frame being put in this week. Yeah, and I've been calling about this fib time on my videos since December January, I've been telling people there's going to be a major pivot put in this week, literally this week. I told people about this week, okay? And in my stream just earlier in the week, I said I don't think that 9 cents pivot was the pivot because we were a bit early. And lo and behold, what's happening is the price descended, and I didn't like the descent. I can't tell you that I was content with how much the price corrected, but it did give people an opportunity to buy at cheaper prices. And what was interesting about the price action yesterday and the day before, 2 days in a row, was the amount of volume at the lows here. The amount of volume was crazy. And I'm gonna show you on CoinGecko, and I posted this in my, look at this, 24-hour trading volume, $1.8 million. That's a lot. Like TRVL on average, usually it does 200,000, 150,000, maybe a little bit more. And all of a sudden we're seeing volume in the millions, potentially 1 million, maybe 2 million, who knows. I think that was a really good indication that this support was holding. Yeah. And so again, even though I've got all of these fib lines, what have I done? Even though I've got all of these fib lines, you're thinking, people are thinking to themselves, oh no, we've lost it. Oh no, we've reclaimed it. Oh no, we've lost it. The reality is these are higher time frame fib lines. You have to look at the higher time frame and look at the higher time frame. Look at that daily candle. The daily candle was unable to close underneath the highest of the line, but the price went all the way down to the lowest line, which was this back test of this trend line. Okay, I just had an alert on Bitcoin, so I'm just going to quickly pop back into Bitcoin. Sorry, we were all like content about travel, and now there you go. So there's no reaction at the moment, right? I can't see a reaction. There's no liquidation on XO. There's no trade right now. Okay, you see that? No reaction. There's no swing failure of this low. And when I go into the order flow, I can't see crazy liquidations. I can see lots of shorting though. Shorting. See that? Shorting. Increasing OI, decreasing price, decreasing CVD. The bullish CVD on that local time range frame has been invalidated. So now I'm looking for lower. There's no trade to be had there because there was no reaction. Okay, so you wouldn't just expect a reaction. You have to wait. You have to see the reaction. There was no reaction. So that's my next area of interest. Okay, so let's see if we if this plays out. I've got an alert down there too, so we don't have to look at Bitcoin anymore. We can just have a look at TRVL, which is more interesting. So yeah, so what you're looking at on TRVL is restore chat. Let me just put it up out again. So I got the chat. Don't lose the chat. I'll keep BTC open. Is that the daily candle was unable to close underneath my highest support line. So it went down. We have a lot of volume in this area of interest, and actually the volume is on Bybit. And this is what's interesting. Look at the volume. You have all this sell volume. So whoever sold 6.8 million in that one day TRVL. And don't just think that's buying, that's selling too. So people are selling. And I think I did say in my stream that if people want to exit TRVL, this is where you're going to get your bags filled. This is the place to exit because you'll fill all your bags. But look, the thing is that people were buying. Okay. And then you had another 4 million yesterday, and today we're just pushing up with good volume. I posted it yesterday on Twitter and I said perfect reaction. Why is it a perfect reaction? Because you're coming into a higher time frame area of interest, okay, where there's a lot of technical support levels, and there was like unbelievable amount of support technically, and you're doing that on fib time, yeah, on a higher time frame fib time. This is the reaction you want to see. You want to see increasing volume. You want to see the price unable to close lower, and on the basis of that you have an invalidation. Yeah, so that's why I posted that yesterday. What that means is you can buy this green candle. So as the price descends, you can buy it, and as long as the price doesn't go down underneath the low, you're not invalidated. For the price to do this, to create this kind of reaction into an area of interest on the higher time frame with volume, and then for the price to go down, is wrong. It's not correct. It shouldn't do that. Yeah, and so therefore that's your invalidation. You have a really easy invalidation now, and that is your invalidation, and that's your trade. And you're effectively, as a trader, you would risk, I mean, most of us are in spot anyway, we're not doing that, but it was just an idea. It's just educational. And so therefore you risk your 1% in the whole of that, and you're already 1% up. So anyone who took that trade, if they risked 1% in this invalidation, would already be 1% up. That's a successful trade, because as a trader they would probably take profit and then leave the rest to run. But I have something else interesting that I've been thinking about with TRVL, and so let's go to what I was thinking about TRVL. So now that that's I'm like, I was sweating blood, because you know, I'm putting my life on the line. Here I am telling people this is a good place to buy, and if it went down, then what? Like, and I honestly, like, I tried to be objective. I tried to contemplate the down move as well, and obviously I was suggesting that losing this pivot would be terrible, and this level has to hold. And whether you could argue whether people are listening to me and they're just trusting me, or whether they're doing their own analysis and they're coming to the same conclusions, the reality is that psychologically it was correct, because for a bunch of weeks in February we were getting to 5 cents, and now after going all the way up to 10 or 11 or 9 cents, we were right back down to 5 cents. And so psychologically that's a good entry, because we've been there before, and so naturally this is where the price corrects to continue. It's a correction to continue. That's all that was happening. It was just fundamentally, it was just trying to fill the gap. The price just fills the gap and it continues. And so when you get these impulsive moves, you get gaps that are formed, and the price just wants to come back and fill the gaps. Now, I don't know if the price is going to now go to the moon. I can't predict that. But I do think now that we have a really important pivot that's being put in on the daily time frame, and I don't think that the price is going to come back down below 5.5 cents in the future. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think it would be very strange for that to happen, and I think a lot of people who are in TRVL can feel comfortable with their portfolio that we're putting in a major higher time frame pivot at a really important higher time frame support level. Okay, the amount of support that was back tested in this area is off the charts. You don't see that too many times, where the price comes in perfectly and you have so many levels of back test. So that should give people a lot of confidence about TRVL. Look, we're already pumping up to 8 cents. See that? That's on Mex. On Bybit, it's 7.7 cents. On KuCoin, it's 7.6 cents. On Gate, it's 7.6 cents. So actually, if you're trying to buy it, probably the best place to buy it right now would be Gate or KuCoin, because Mex is obviously going up. And it really does give me a lot of satisfaction as well, because of that guy who criticized me, and he basically sold all his TRVL. I don't know if he's back. I don't know if he bought back in. I don't know. Maybe he just. It'll be really satisfying if he did sell, and we get up to 17 cents now. That would be really satisfying. All right, so let's just go back into the analysis now, because I have some ideas of some other things. We can just hide all of that now and get rid of that long position. I'm keeping an eye on BTC as well, so I am interested in taking that BTC trade. All right, this is so Elliott waves. This is what I wanted to talk about, and I'm quite interested about what's happening. Now, in the past, I've contemplated that this move or this move was the wave one. So in the past, I've said potentially that was the wave one. Then I was saying maybe this was a correction, maybe this was a 3. And that idea, I think, invalidated because we came underneath this pivot here, which was the 1. So technically, the 4 can't come underneath, and we didn't just wick under, we actually closed under. So that invalidated the idea that this was the 1. Okay. And so therefore I was re-looking at the Elliott waves again to see if we have any other kind of impulsive behavior. I'm not sure if this was impulsive. I think that was quite impulsive, that one move up. And I have seen it in the past where you get one wave in one candle. Okay. So I'm just zooming into the 12-hour time frame now. I'm just trying to kind of think. I possibly think that this was the impulse from there. I think that was quite impulsive. And I'm not sure about this. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of try and analyze both. The reason why that potentially could be a wave 1 is because if that was this didn't get underneath the 1. But I'm just going to try and see. So this is one idea. But that doesn't really work. Because if that was the 1, this can't be the 3, because then the 4 can't come underneath the 1. Okay, so that helps. So that wasn't the 1 either. So maybe this is the 1. So now I'm thinking 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 1. This is the 2. And lo and behold, we're in our 3. And so this would be the wave 1. And we're now potentially in the wave 3 of the wave 1. That's what I'm thinking right now. We've had our 1. We've just had a 2. And now we're in the 3. And you can see how impulsive this 3 is right now. It's very impulsive. Okay. So going based on that idea, let me just hide it, because we know now what that idea is. We're saying that the 1 started here. So the 1 started at 4.5 cents. Let me just put it back anyway, because I just want to keep a reference actually. You're gonna forgive me if I pop away for 5 minutes and come back? Is that possible? I need to take a 5 minute break. I don't know how many people are here, but I need to take a break. Sorry. I'll have to edit this out later. Sorry. David is saying something about David, I'm not going to take that. I'm expecting lower. Okay. So yeah, so let me just get back to TRVL. So let's just say this was the one. And let me see, 1, 2, probably to there. And then to there. I probably have to use a slightly higher time frame to get these wicks. And let me just do a trend base. And I might have to do this trend base on Bybit, to be honest with you, because Bybit's showing the most volume. Let me do it on Bybit. Perfect. Okay. A 1-to-1 will take us to just under 11 cents. And a 1.618 will take us to 17.5. What's interesting about 17.5 is if I do a fib extension, I've got it here already actually, a fib retracement from the all-time high to the all-time low. Obviously on Bybit, it's not from that top candle wick, it's from this one here, but I've just marked it as 1.56. So from 1.56 to the all-time low, which is like 1.95 cents roughly. You'll see that we've come back to test the 2.36. That's held the support. And our next level of interest is 10.5 cents. The thing about getting up to there, if we get back up to there, then you're making a higher high on the daily time frame. Yeah. So we're just putting in a higher low potentially. If we now take out that high, you've made a higher high. You're just bullish market structure continues. Will it hold? Will 9 cents hold again? I mean, we've gone up into 9 cents once, twice already. And every time we go up, we're taking liquidity and the sell pressure declines. Okay. So Can we break 9 cents? That's the question. Well, look, we've just started our wave 3. This is the wave 3 of 1. Yeah, let's not, all of this that's happened in the past, there's no impulse. There was an impulse here, but that impulse wasn't our wave 1 because we made a lower, we came down underneath the peak. So this is actually, this was the 1. This is now the 1 of 1, the 2 of 1. This is the 3 of 1. Okay, so there is an area of resistance at about between 10 and 11 cents. There is. Okay, just bear that in mind. Now we are now impulsing. This is the wave 1 of 3 of 1, and that's how it works. The impulsive waves have 5 waves. You could see that this is like 1 wave. Maybe that was the 2. This could be the 3, but it's still of, we have to see what happens and see how many how this goes up. But potentially one, 3, we have to see how high it goes. There is a monthly level there. There is a resistance area here. I'd like to think that this is going to extend now, because 1, 2, this is the 3 of our 1. You'd expect a 1-to-1 at least, and then we have to see how it breaks. Does it just correct? Now the thing about this move now, and I just want us to be very clear about what needs to happen for us to continue with this idea. And the idea is that this is the 1, this is the 2, and the next one is the 3. The thing about the 4 is it can't come underneath the 1. The 1 has to hold, and then you have a 5, right? If this now just goes here and then you just drop back down again this whole first bit is not the 1. Now this becomes the 1. Like, that's how it works. Elliott waves have rules, and then the 4 just can't come underneath the 1. So if it comes underneath the 1, then this is the 1, and then everything changes again. It becomes like this. Okay, and then wherever the correction is the 2, and then you have the 3. So there's a lot of things that could happen depending on how far this impulse goes, because it's quite impulsive right now. So I'm still thinking maybe we push up and get up to there. We extend to the 1.618, and that would make a higher high on the weekly time frame. We have a pullback, and the correction, we have to see what the correction is, but then it can't come underneath the 1. And then the 5, because the 3, if this was to happen, the 3 is bigger than the 1, the 4 has come back, it can't come underneath the 1, and therefore the 5 can potentially extend all the way up to where I want it to go, which is the golden pocket. That's my area of interest, the golden pocket. So at the moment, this is what I'm thinking, okay? And things can change. I'm not predicting the future. I'm just saying this is an idea of what could happen if the price goes up to 17.5 cents, finds resistance, you have a ABC correction or some kind of corrective move. Now the question is, what is the correction going to look like? Are we going to have a flat correction, extended flat, zigzag, you know, like we just don't know what the correction is going to be like. But whatever the correction, you can't come back underneath 1. That would have to hold as support. And then you can have your wave 5. You come back and you back test the wave 1 as support. That would make sense, because then you're coming back to back test this 382, which would also be the top of 1. That would make sense. But no one can predict how the price is going to correct. You just have to look at the price and see how it's correcting, and then try and make an analysis based on that. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, we do come back to this 382, and then you can do another trend-based fib from there to there to there, and you have a wave 5 now. Really, the you have to find confluence at the higher levels to see where the price could stop. We have to see what the 4 does. And it's all about how far the 4 comes down, because if the 4 is flat, or it's as deeper, I mean, I don't know. The reason why I think this area is going to be quite a significant area is quite simply because it's the golden pocket. The golden pocket is always going to act as resistance on the higher time frame. I think it's very naive to just ignore the golden pocket on a higher time frame. It would be very naive to do that. And then the other reason why I think the golden pocket is a level of interest is when I hide all this, you see that at 28.5 cents, there's a yearly level. Could it overshoot and go all the way up to the top of this wick? Of course it could. You know, no one. It depends on FOMO. It depends on a lot of things. Could we go up to 52 cents to the top of that wick? Well, if we do just smash through the golden pocket for whatever reason, then yeah, you're looking at somewhere up there, somewhere up to about 59 and 61 cents. Depends on this 4 correction. All right, so we have to see what happens. Like, again, it's a game of guessing, and the more data that comes in, the more we see candles print and we see where the price goes, then the more accurate we can become in our analysis of where the price could be. Okay, is this corrective? I don't think this is what we're experiencing now is a correction. This is impulsive. Yeah, and actually the reason why I don't think this is corrective is because, look, this is the correction. It's like an ABC. No, it looks very ABC-ish. There was like five. There are like 5 waves here. It's hard to see. I'll say that's 1, 2. See that? Let me change that to yellow. So you have 5, and you see it. The 4 here couldn't get back underneath the 1. So that was your 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Something like that. That's your 5. A, B, C. And then now we're in our wave 3. And based on a trend-based fib, the 3 is usually the most impulsive. Remember, we're still in the wave 1. So on the higher time frame, I don't know how far this is going to go, but let's just say it went there. It could, I mean, it could be just like that. Don't think that just because I'm drawing it, it's going to go up there. It could just do that. That could be your wave 1. We have to see where the 5 lands, and then on the higher time frame, you're looking at this whole arm is now our wave 1 complete. And I personally would want it to go, it'd be really nice for it to go into the golden pocket, clear all that liquidity, and then I'll be looking for the correction. Okay, and so therefore you would start this whole count again. You start from here to 0 to wherever this 5 ends, then that would be your 1. Okay, then you'd be looking for a 2 correction. It'll be an ABC, probably. It could be other corrections, but, and then you have to see how this corrects. It will be a 2, higher time frame 2, and then you're looking for your crazy impulsive 3, then a 4 and a 5, and that will be your highest time frame, and that's basically it. That's what I'm expecting. Okay, so I have been expecting this for a while. And now that we've kind of done this first impulse, now we've done our first correction. This is our second impulse, which is the wave 3 for another correction. Finish the wave 5. That'll be our wave 1 complete. Okay. Then you're looking for a higher time frame ABC. Depending on how high 5 goes, will determine everything. Yeah. Because the most bullish situation is a flat correction, or an extended flat. But technically, and just bear this in mind, technically, that's your 0 to your 1 to your 2. The 2 can come all the way down here. Technically, it's possible. It can come all the way back down here. The only thing that the 2 can't do is come underneath this pivot here. This one here, where the 0 began. That's the only place that they say, the minute it does that, the count resets. You're back to square 1. But even though that's possible, it'd be very bullish, but it'd be very painful for a lot of people. The reason why it's bullish is because you have a lot of people taking out value at the end of this wave 1, looking to put it back in the correction, and if you go all the way back down to 5 cents after you've taken your profits at 30 cents, it's an easy entry, really. It's like, it's a no-brainer. You've just taken profit at 30 cents and you can put it right back in at 5 cents for the wave 3. It's really bullish. But it does skew the targets. So if you want higher targets, it's better to have a flat correction. Yeah, it's better to have a flat correction. And in the context of the price action, when I'm looking at the whole of the price action, I think it would be really nice to hold this pivot as support, this one here, if and when we get above there, and flip it as support as an SR flip. That would be really nice. But I'm also thinking, because it would be also nice to come back and test 9 cents or test this, because then you're just confirming the launch price as a support price now. So you come back to the launch price, you back test, and then you continue. Yeah. So even though in terms of targets, if you want higher targets, it's better to have a flat correction and just keep on rallying. In terms of what could happen, you know, you could come back here, back test that, or you could come back even deeper. People become bearish again, but actually you're just coming to back test 9 cents. Okay, I personally don't want to see this happen, and the reason why I don't want to see this happen is because of my Wyckoff schematic and my Adam and Eve idea. I think it will be good if that plays out, especially since I've been talking about it a lot. And then I think a lot of people are just going to get really interested in TRVL, seeing that I'm making these kind of predictions and they're coming to pass. I think a lot of people will be like, oh my God, why have I not been on this channel following this guy's ideas? So in that case, when you're looking at the schematic that I have, this Wyckoff schematic, we've had our LPS. Look, you see, I even mentioned it in my stream a few days ago. Come up, LPS, lowest point of support, and now we have the buy up, and the buy up is the sign, is going to take us into the sign of strength. Okay, and potentially that's going to take us all the way up to 30 cents. That will be Wyckoff taking us all the way up to 30 cents. That would be a sign of strength. And then you also have this Adam and Eve pattern. And so if you do have a sign of strength, ideally you want a kind of a really prolonged flat correction like that. But then if you do come back to test the neckline, the neckline is at about 14 cents. That would confirm an Adam and Eve pattern. Yeah, so both of these ideas are still in play. And then you'd want this to kind of hold this previous pivot high as support. And then let's fly, basically. And you could potentially have some kind of, if we do go up to there, you can have this prolonged correction, consolidation underneath resistance. The big resistance is the golden pocket, and then we have an explosion for the next wave. That would be the big wave, the wave 3, and that potentially could take us all the way up to the moon. To the moon. And then we have to just see what the how it corrects. And so again, it's very subjective, and it's all based on what we're seeing with the price and how it moves. Any questions? I think a really important question to answer for a lot of people is, should I ape in? Absolutely. Ape. Be an ape. But I wouldn't necessarily pump the price. I would look to at the lower time frame and wait for the little red candles, and then just buy the red candles on the lower time frame. And if people don't want to just ape in because they're moving the price too much, then it's always best to just keep on buying the red candles. Keep on buying. And that's what I was saying, in a bull market, the idea is to buy, not to sell. And if you sell, you're taking profit, but you really just want to buy the red candles and keep on buying until you hit your higher targets, whatever your targets are. That's basically what I wanted to say about TRVL. This is looking really nicer, so let me just go to another chart which is probably clean. They're all messier. I do too much. I've got too many lines. All right, let's get rid of this one. Let's get rid of all of this. All right, so this is on KuCoin now. Let me just have a look at these indicators. That's interesting. You're basically getting a 0 line reject, but off the minus 100 mark. You see that? That's quite good. And what you're seeing in the price, okay, is a V shape. This is basically, this is the V shape. Hold on a second, I have to answer this. It's really bullish. V shape's bullish. And I think I did say to people that you get this fast move down, you're going to get a fast move up. And so that's what usually happens when you get these kind of crazy moves down. And that's why I think in the future, when we eventually do kind of, you can't see it on this chart, so I'll go to MEX. Eventually in the future, when we do finally get up to this area above the golden pocket, you see how the price came down really fast. I think in the future, when we do finally get past the golden pocket on the higher time frame, we're going to go up really fast. It's really exactly the same thing. There's no volume. The price moved down. In the future, when we get back above there, we're just going to go to just going to rock it. Okay, exactly the same idea as what's happening now. You have a fast descent, and then the rise is just as fast, or even faster. As you can see, it's even faster. And so this is really bullish price action right now. Okay. All right, so I'm not telling people where to buy and sell. This is everything that I'm doing is educational and or entertainment value only. People need to decide based on what I'm saying what they want to do, and if they don't want to listen, that's fine. They can do their own thing. It's no big deal. For me, it's no big deal because I'm not trading this. I'm accumulating for the higher time frame. Now this 3, you know, you could find resistance here. It is possible. And then you have another ABC. And then the 5, it depends, because sometimes the 5s can be meh. Sometimes the 5 could be great. And then also depends on the 3. You know, this is, to me, it looks like at about 17 cents, there's a little bit of resistance. It's the halfway mark on the whole overall range, and also you're coming to this 1.618 extension on this trend. And then it kind of coincides a little bit. Does it coincide with anything else? Not really. Here. Yeah, it kind of coincides with the trap liquidity that still exists in this little range here. And you could probably also do some kind of range pull here. And you see there's a little point of control. No, there's a little bit of volume there. So potentially this wave, this next wave will go up to about 17 cents, 18 cents. And then if we, depending on the correction, you want to basically hold the price at about 9 or 10 cents, probably 9, but 10 would be a good place. And then you'll be targeting the golden pocket then. And that would complete your wave one. So that's what I have in mind at the moment. And we'll see how this plays out. Once you get to the golden pocket, then we're in SOS territory. And so I think a lot of people will be really bullish. They'll be very hesitant to start selling en masse, just simply because we've just completed your wave one. Now we're looking for the wave three. And we've also, if you get up to the golden pocket, we're clearly doing this Wyckoff and this Adam and Eve. And so people are going to be less inclined to sell everything. They'll be maybe taking profit, looking to put it back in. That's probably what the behavior is going to be down the line. And hopefully by then, we're going to be able to attract a lot of people to TRVL. All right, that's my TRVL update. I don't know if that was helpful. Alper UKE, my last minute luggage is filled with 5.25. Thanks, Samir. Spot on. Right. So Sebastian is happy. Alper is happy. Who else is happy? Anyone else happy? Dan. Dan is happy. Is Sebastian happy? Yep. He says congratulations. There's a few happy people. Yeah. It's good to see. I like happiness. Let's just hope it continues. Huh? Cross your fingers. Let me have another look at something as well. Let me just hide these. I'm going to have to really spend some time and clean up my drawings soon. I'm probably going to delete everything soon. The other thing I wanted to just go over and look at is the candle structure and the candle formation. This is the perfect reversal, okay, in many ways. And I just want to explain it to you guys, okay? This is on MEX. Let me go to Bybit actually, because I like to look at the one with the most volume. Hide those, hide those, hide those. Okay, so it's all hidden. Let me show you why this is a really good reaction. Not only was it into higher time frame, fib levels, trend lines, back testing, all that kind of jargon, which I've already gone over. Just look at the candles. I just want to show you what I mean about these candles, okay? There's a few things to note. Firstly, you have this really strong increasing volume into your level of interest, okay? Now, why I like this red candle, even though it's potentially a continuation candle, is you have a really nice buying tail at the bottom. You have a selling tail, but you have a really nice buying tail. Buying tail into support. That's what you want to see. You want to see these tails. You know, if there was no tail, I'd be a little bit more concerned. I wasn't concerned because there was a tail and it managed to close above all of my levels. That was really important. It closed above it. So that was the first thing to note. The second thing is the next day, the price went down to the bottom of this candle, and you'll see this a lot on Bitcoin. You'll see this a lot on other charts. It went lower and then it came back up. That is a swing failure of the previous day low. That's the second clue. And then the third clue is you fully reverse that red candle. It's like an engulfing. and you've managed to close above the previous candle high. So not only have you reversed the whole candle volume, you've also closed higher. Okay, so when you're looking at the descending closes, you see this is a higher close on the daily time frame. Okay, not only that, you have some other clues. You have this daily level here, and you've also closed above that daily level there. So that's a really bullish, that was the beginning of a bullish reversal. This next candle is confirmation, because then you've come out of this low with two bullish candles. Okay, that's your confirmation. And this whole thing, this is the beginning of a reversal pattern. This is a reversal pattern right there. It's a reversal. If you look at the higher time frames, like the 3-day chart, you have this really nice 3-day candle printed yesterday with a massive buying tail. That's a buying tail with increasing volume into an area of interest of support. And if you look at the 3-day chart, you can see that there was a really strong area of support here, and you've just gone in and you've bounced. You've held it as support. That's a hold. Okay, so the candles are telling you something too, and it's good to have a look at the candles. If I look at the weekly candle now, the weekly candle hasn't even ended, but look at that. Like we haven't even ended the candle yet, but look at that buying tail. And you have to remember, in the future, when this weekly candle prints, people are going to be looking at this chart and they're going to see in this weekly candle, however it ends, I hope it ends with a strong green candle with a buying tail. It's going to look extremely bullish, because it means the price went down, it was just bought all the way back up, and it closed much higher. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping that will happen. And then people will look at this chart and they'll look at these candles and they'll go, wow, that's a really bullish candle. And the key will be the volume. You see how the volume is increasing. We've already had on Bybit this week, and the week hasn't even ended. On Bybit, we've had the most volume ever just this week on Bybit. 13.5 million tokens were traded so far in this week. The last time we had that was this week, and that was 12 million. And so right now, when I'm looking at the different on KuCoin, it was less. So right now, Bybit is driving the price. Okay, how much was it on KuCoin? I say less. It was actually more than Bybit, 22 million. So KuCoin is still putting in the most volume, even though on Bybit it was the most for Bybit. And then let me have a look at these other. On Gate it was 10 million, and on Mex it was 5 million. So Mex is actually is lagging right now, and the head of the pack is still KuCoin, and then Bybit and Gate are on par, but Bybit is ahead. So it's first KuCoin. I should do it like a ladder: Bybit, Gate, and then Mex. All right, and look, this is looking really good, huh? It's looking really good. All right, unless there's any more questions, I think that's my TRVL update, and I think the next stop is hopefully, let's go back to my let's see how long this lasts, but hopefully we're going to get up to about 17, 18, 17, 18. Let's see how this goes. Okay. All right. So I'm sorry. I mean, the problem is when